we are down in another topic in the contemporary world subject. So, my group mates discuss the economic globalization, which is the first part. Now, we are going to discuss the second part, which is the market integration. And we are going to discuss the definition of market integration first, and then followed by the types of market integration. And of course, we are also going to tackle the forms of market integration. So first, let us define what is market integration. So the man you can see in this picture is Malcolm Tatum, and he defined market integration as a phenomenon in which market for goods and services that are some way related to one another experience similar patterns of price increase or decrease. So this term can refer to a situation in which prices of related goods and services sold in a specific geographic area begin to move in a similar pattern. So, market integration basically refers to how easily two or more markets can trade with each other. Thus, we have the high integration and the low integration. So, high integration happens when prices are similar in the markets, so that means that there is low barrier of trade. So, in contrary for that, we have the low integration, which means high barrier of trades. So, in this situation, foreign trades helps the integration of markets because it reduces barriers to trade and increases fluidity between the markets. So for example, Korea produces toys at a cheaper price than the Philippines.
So if foreign trades increases between these two countries that we have, the Korea and the Philippines, then toys could be sold in the Philippines more easily, thus making them more available and thus reducing the price. So as the foreign trade increases, the price of the toys will continue going down until it matches or almost matches Korea's toys price, which is the lower limit. So once the price are similar for both countries, the Korea and the Philippines, then we can consider the market integrated. So now let's talk about the three types of market integration. First, we have the horizontal market integration, the vertical market integration, and the conglomeration. Okay, so for the horizontal integration, as we can see here, this occur when a firm or agency gains control of other firms or agencies performing similar marketing function at the same level in the marketing sequence. And another one is, of course, the vertical integration, wherein this occur when a firm performs more than one activity in the sequence of the marketing process. And finally, we have the conglomeration, occurs when a corporate group, which is made up of two or more business entities, engage in a completely different or similar business, usually with a parent company and a numerous subsidiaries. Let's take an example. We have the horizontal integration. First, as we can see here, a company's primary goal in pursuing horizontal integration is to first acquire a similar company in the same industry. And of course, it also includes other objectives such as expanding the economy or the company market, increasing market power, increasing product or services differentiation, and of course, to lower competition. For example, if a department store wants to enter a new market, it might decide to merge in a similar one in another country to begin operations there. So in an ideal world, the company would make more money than if it works to separate business. So that's an example of horizontal integration. So in the Philippines, there are also banks and corporate mergers. In 2021, the president approved the merge of Land Bank of the Philippines, or the LBP, and the UCBP, or the Unified Co-Planter Bank. So another one is the merge of SM Investment Corporations and the Tugo Group Incorporated. Even some telecommunication providers, such as the PLDT and the Globe, this merges is to decrease the competition. So now let's proceed to vertical integration. So vertical integration is happens when a company buys another company that is involved in the same industry production process. It can be done for a variety of reasons, including strengthening company's supply chain, lowering production costs, capturing upstream or downstream profits, and gaining access to new distribution channels. So to achieve this one company buys another that is either ahead or behind in the supply chain. So one of the most notable example of vertical integration is in the entertainment industry, which is the Netflix. Netflix was at the end of the supply chain before it started its own content made by the content creators. But now, Netflix executives realized that creating their own original content would generate more revenue. So the company's original content offering expanded during or in 2013 conglomeration. For this one, as I've said a while ago, this conglomerate is defined as a corporate group made up of two or more business entities engaged in a completely different or similar businesses, and usually with a parent company and numerous subsidiaries. An example of it are Amazon, Alphabet, Facebook, Procter and Gamble, Unilever, Johnson's and Johnson's, and Walmart. And the best example for this is Facebook. And we know that Facebook is a social network and Facebook is conglomerate because it owns Instagram, WhatsApp, and Messenger, of course. Facebook, as a major distributor of news, like the world's largest, of course, it faces the same responsibility as a media company does. So, one traditional definition of a media company is a company that delivers information to user and profit by selling ads. By that, we can say that Facebook is a media company. So, guys, those are the types of market integration. Now let's talk about the forms of integration. So as you can see here, first is the preferential agreement, which is formed when countries within geographic region agree to lower or eliminate tariff barriers on certain goods imported from other members of the area. So a good example of this one is the RTA, or what we refer the Regional Trade Agreement.
The Regional Trade Agreement, or the RTA, is a treaty between two or more governments that define the rules of trade for all signatories. So, certain industries in the United States, such as the automobile and electronic manufacturers, prefer RTA because they allow them to make advantage of lowering manufacturer costs in other parts of the world while avoiding competition from European and Japanese producers or Asia. Now let's go to another form, which is the free trade area. And FTA, or the free trade area, are formed when two or more countries in a region agree to reduce or eliminate trade barriers on all goods imported from other members. A good example of this is the NAFTA, or the North Atlantic Free Trade Agreement, which includes the United States, Canada, and the Mexico. These three countries are the example of free trade zone. Let's go to another form, which is the custom union. A custom union entails the elimination of tariff barriers between members and the acceptance of the single external tariff against non-members. Tariff, which means a tax on import, or a tax or duty to be paid on a particular class of import or export. So, for example, we have the European Union, and we know that the EU or the European is the most well-known example of this one. Um, the trade between EU members or member state is tariff-free. So a custom union is distinguished from a free trade area by a common external tariff. So this is the custom union. Okay, now another form is the common market. And the common market defining feature is the expansion of free trade beyond tangible goods to include all economic resources. This means that all barriers to the free movement of goods, services, capital, and labor removed. A common market in East Africa was a result of an expansion of existing common union or the custom unions which was established in early 2005, and that again is an example of common market. Now let's go to the next one. So lastly, we have the economic union, which the term to describe as a trading bloc that has a common market among its members, as well as a common trade policy with non-members, despite members' freedom to pursue their own macroeconomic policies. Again, we have the European Union as a good example of this one, which came into force in 1993, following the signing of the Treaty on European Union, or formerly known as the Maastricht Treaty. Okay, so those are the forms of the market integration. So as you can see, from the definition and example of these forms, they have actually overlapping features to one another since they are different forms. And all right, so that ends our discussion. We hope, or I hope, that you learned something in our topic, which is the structure of globalization. Thank you so much. And once again, I am Megan Nicole Blancha, one of your presenter. Want to say thank you again and good evening.